The new Whirlpool W collection with Sixth Sense technology that fully guides you to achieve perfect results. Whirlpool, sensing the difference.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear.
And welcome back. It is the first Sunday of the month, so you know what that means. We let Simon take over the kitchen. No, we don't. He just says, I'm doing it.
You tell me
to. Simon, what are we having today?
So we're having a nice, light, simple lunch dish. We're going to cook oven-baked salmon with some spaghetti. And we're going to make our own Pesto Rosso. So we're all familiar with pesto, which is green. This is the red version of such, OK? So I want to get the salmon in the oven first, all right? Two nice little darns of salmon. And all we're going to do with them is we're going to hit them with a little black pepper. We don't want any salt on there. Remember, Lizzie was on a couple of months ago and she put Chinese 5-spice on this.
Yes.
And it was beautiful. But this just needs pepper, OK?
OK.
I preheated the oven to 180 degrees. And depending on the sizes of the darns of salmon, that's going to take anywhere from 10 to 12 minutes. Just keep an eye out.
Doesn't take long.
Doesn't take long, OK? So we've got our spaghetti on the go, as per packing instructions. Nothing difficult there. Pot of boiling salt and water, and away you go. Now, the pesto. As I say, we're all familiar with green pesto. This is red, and the red comes from a combination of sun-dried tomatoes and roasted red pepper. So you can do this if you want in a pestle and mortar, but when you've got a little food processor like this, this takes all the work out of it. So all I'm doing here is adding 200 grams of sun-dried tomatoes.
OK.
I'm going the same quantity as roasted red peppers. Now, you can roast the peppers yourself at home if you want. Just put them over the gas ring, let them blister. It's a bit of a process.
Or you could buy the jar.
So 200 grams. You can see the little bits of, see the little burnt pieces?
Yeah.
That's all gold, baby. That's all flavour. So some of the jars you'll see, you'll get red, you'll get yellow peppers as well. It's all good for this.
Nice bit of colour.
Yeah, we want to err on the side of red because it's a pesto rosso, OK? Then on top of that, I've got 60 grams of gorgeous, fragrant basil.
Straight from your herb garden
Straight from the herb garden at home. So that goes in there. And then the last one...
Work with me here.
From my neighbour's herb garden.
What did you pay for them out of your own herb garden?
The last ingredient are these bad boys. So these are pine nuts. So I've 60 grams of pine nuts here, and all I've done is I've popped them into a dry pan, and I've just toasted them. And you can see they've gone a gorgeous
smell so
golden
good,
colour.
don't they?
It smells like popcorn, doesn't it?
And do you just toast them dry, Simon, or do you use oil?
Yeah, no, just toast them dry, Aidan, because if you put oil in there, you'll end up frying them.
Okay.
And we don't want to fry them. We just want to toast them so they release the essential oils and give us more flavour in the dish. So that's all that goes in there at the moment.
Okay.
So if you want to talk amongst yourself, I'm going to make some noise.
So you haven't added any liquid?
No liquid yet.
Okay.
But you'll see from the peppers and from the sun-dried tomatoes, there's a little bit of the brining liquid in there. So give it a good blitz. You want to get it into a paste consistency.
Yeah.
And we're going to do another process to it now, which will loosen it a bit.
You'd be a long while doing that with a... Sorry.
Pestle and mortar.
You'd be a long while doing that with a pestle.
You would be, you would. But listen, if you have the patience, if you have the pestle and mortar and you have the time, go for it. It's all good. So I'm just going to push these down a little bit.
Good
Give
aggression.
it one final blitz. Get that basil in there. And away we go. So that is now a nice dry paste. Now, the quantities for this recipe, you only need about a tablespoon or two for this actual recipe. We've made up a big batch of it here. You can pop that into a jar, into a little plastic carton that'll sit in your fridge happily for a week. Remember Mindy made us a curry sauce and she made a paste.
Yes.
She put it into an ice cube tray and she keeps it in the freezer, so you just drop it in.
Oh, that's
you can do the same with this.
Well, I'm eyeballing that, going, oh, that spread that on a bit of chia batter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's our mixture. As you can see, it's fairly dry, okay, but what we're going to do to loosen that is we're going to add in our two final ingredients, which is Parmesan and a little bit of olive oil.
Gorgeous.
And even at that point, if it's still too dry, don't go too heavy with the oil, okay? Just add a little splash of water to loosen it.
Okay.
That's just a little tip that I got. Rather than, you don't want the sauce too heavy with oil. It'll make it a heavier sauce. Okay, so the final two ingredients then, 50 grams of Parmesan.
Okay.
And all we're going to do is we're going to stir that through.
Could you use some of your pasta water, Simon?
Absolutely you could. That's a great idea. A lot of people, and you'll see me doing it now, when I drain this pasta, they tend to just chuck all the pasta water out and get rid of it. Most chefs will tell you that when you drain pasta, try and leave a little dribble of that pasta water in with your pasta. Because whatever sauce you put in there, whatever ingredients to make your sauce, it just helps develop the sauce. And there's great flavour in that water because you've seasoned that water. So our last ingredient then is a couple of teaspoons of olive oil.
Okay.
And you can see it's still quite thick, still quite claggy, but that's good. That's okay. We're going to cook that out now with our pasta.
Okay, we're on about 3 minutes, so you're
Perfect.
doing well for time.
We have plenty of time.
Yeah.
So that's our pesto rosso made.
Okay, well, if we have time, can I start asking annoying, stupid questions?
Please
Yeah.
do, Aidan. Yeah, please
That's
do.
my
I'll get the
role.
salmon out of the oven while you're doing that. Go
Why
for
are
it.
you baking the salmon and not pan frying it?
No particular reason. You can pan fry it if you like. This is a very, very simple way of cooking pasta.
You're trying to be a bit healthier as well.
Yeah, and you also realise that it's simpler and it's kind of foolproof. You can't overcook it or undercook it.
Yeah.
I forgot actually to pop that clove of garlic in there as well.
Oh, garlic
so there's
in
a clove
the
of garlic
pesto.
in there. Yeah. So
Okay.
our salmon is done. Leave it there. It's all good. What we're going to do with our salmon is we're just going to flake it. So you can see it's perfectly cooked.
Oh, yeah.
And all you want to do is just break it up. Okay? So that's our salmon ready to go on our dish. So our pasta is cooked. I'm going to drain that.
Okay.
And as you'll see, I'm going to retain just a little bit of the water at the end because you want this to, your pesto is going to be a sauce for this. So most of the water is going and the last bit I'm going to hang on to. It's a lovely sound effect, that, isn't it?
That's lovely, especially the
given the
position
shots.
you're standing in.
So there's our pasta done. I've still got a
Good morning,
bit.
viewers. It's a
And you'll
lovely
see
scene
there,
to wake up to, isn't it?
you'll see there's still a little bit of water in that dish. So all we want then is a little tablespoon.
Okay.
But because it's Sunday, we'll go 2 tablespoons.
Go on, my son.
And all we're going to do is we're going to mix that pesto right through our pasta, and you'll see the
colour
spaghetti
change.
will change.
And the spaghetti is that al dente texture.
It's al dente, and also now you're starting to get smells because the pine nuts are hitting the heat, the sun-dried tomatoes are hitting the heat. And if you don't think you've enough pesto in there, you have a load of it there. Just help yourself to another spoon. You can see how the pasta doesn't look dry now because there was a little bit of water left in the pan. Okay, so that's our pasta done. And you know what? Since you're very good and you're very helpful, I'm going to give you a little bit more.
Oh, wow. We're going
Just for the
wild.
crack, yeah. How long have we got there now, lads?
1 minute.
We're on 1 minute.
So I'll plate it up for you now. So that's our spaghetti done with our pesto in there.
Okay.
And then to serve, all we want to do is a nice portion of our spaghetti in our bowl.
As your bed.
As your bed, exactly.
Lovely.
And Aidan, I'll give you a bit more because you were very hungry. Tommy hasn't
Because I
eaten.
need more.
It's
Yeah,
all
well,
that
fattening up than I've
all that
already
gym
done.
work he's doing.
It's all that gym work he's doing, yeah.
Pumping iron all
So
week,
then all
aren't
we
you?
do, lads, is we take our
Gyms are
salmon,
closed, Anna.
At home.
our
At
salmon
home.
over our pasta.
Okay.
Now, there are going to be a lot of people at this point, because I'm going to do something now that's very controversial
Okay.
when it comes to Italian cooking. Because a lot of people will say you can never put Parmesan with fish. You can't serve Parmesan with fish. And what I'm going to say to that is, you can. Because watch.
Oh, there's going to be very rude there, yeah.
So I'm just going to finish this.
You're going for it regardless. But you
Little bit
also
of
have
Parmesan.
Parmesan in the pesto.
We have, yeah. So don't go too heavy on it, because
Yeah.
remember, this is a seasoning. So you don't want to over-salt it. So there it is, nice and simple. Start to finish, it's about 12 minutes. So you have your spaghetti with your oven-baked salmon and a homemade pesto rosso. You've loads made up, put it in the fridge, it'll do you for ages.
Topped with
That's for you.
controversial
I like the
Parmesan.
idea of having the pesto for in the fridge, you know, to use
Absolutely.
for the next few days. It's handy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you could, you know, if you were going to grill a breast of chicken or something, or a chicken thigh or something, you could pop that in there instead of the salmon, and add the pesto in as well.
Smells delicious and it looks it too.
Time to
Si.
taste.
I would go as far as to say that's the healthiest dish you've done on this show.
Yeah, it's up there with the scallops. Do you remember the scallops I
Scallops
did?
were healthy,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
I want to get an opinion on the actual pesto itself, because it's different to a standard green pesto,
It's very different.
isn't it? You like?
As in, it's a lot more subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagined you putting much more pesto into it, but you didn't.
No, nice and light.
You're keeping it light.
But as I say, you've got enough there that if you want to go heavy on it,
Yeah.
get another couple of tablespoons in there as well.
It's delicious.
Chef, you are a
Happy days.
marvel once again. Thank you.
God bless you.
Well done.
Thank you, Simon. Well done. Now, after the break, we'll be meeting the couple who have been travelling the world naked in the hope of debunking the myths around naturism. We're back here shortly.
You did say.
The new Whirlpool W collection with sixth sense technology that fully guides you to achieve perfect results. Whirlpool, sensing the difference.